All right. Got one live going. Just be patient. Trying to get everything set up correctly. All right. One more. All right. That may have to edit live cut. Okay. All right, just give me a minute. Still just, you know what sucks, man? They hit that 86 this morning. That was our freaking target. Was kind of hoping it would wait before it got down there, but it is what it is. Like I said, just still getting a few things set up here. Just give me a minute, guys. Don't know why that's not sharing. Oh well. If we can't figure it out, not a big deal. Well, like I said, we're just trying to set up another setting. That kind of sucks that we already broke that 26 this morning. I was really hoping that would wait before the market to open. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just get our normal settings set up just because. How are you doing this morning, Jake Ponzi? Yeah, we're only streaming till 10:30 this morning or 9:30 Central Time. I have to take the pet to the vet this morning. Unfortunately, we already kind of hit. We already hit my target this morning. I had my target marked out, and I was hoping that we wouldn't push down there so early. I wanted to target those 26s. So we can still use that 26 as support. So what we can do is just say maybe it pushes down here to hit the 500. Then kind of bounces back up. Then the next target down from there, we would want to target the 72s at the previous day close. Or actually, no, we got equal lows sitting at 95. So it would go 95, then 72. If we push back up at the previous day close, break through there, then we would look for the low from last Thursday. Yeah, I was hoping to be a little bit more grindy this morning since the banks are closed today. So, what's up, Dak? How are you doing? Give me a minute to get my chats out. Man, it could be one of these days where you just kind of grind in one. We're on the 5-minute time frame. You're long on XRP? Now, are you trading XRP, Ponzi, or did you just buy XRP? Dude, every single level is getting ran. Come on. This couldn't wait for the market for another 15, 20 minutes. Like every single level. Some of you guys have mentioned something about that 18 or that 8 o'clock to 8:15 ORB type strategy that a lot of people are trading. I've gone back and looked at it. I don't really know what the strategy is. I don't know if it's kind of like, I have seen this setup a lot happen with this, where on this 15 minutes, you almost like you get that little push back up. Then you buy the opposite side, but I'm not really sure how people are trading that. So this would have been your entry if we would have waited for this big orange lines to get ran. So this was going to be my either my buy or sell to this morning. But like I said, I didn't anticipate us to run it 15 minutes before the market opened. So now we'll just have to approach with a new game plan this morning. So, sucks. You could have taken this both ways. You could have taken this to the 825s. Another way to play this is if you wait for a print below, then a little retest, then you would be short off of that. It says every day at 7:30 since Monday, the NQ has broke out at last week, up or down. Now, is that 7:30 Central Time, Jake, or that Eastern Time? Now, I know for the last 2 weeks for Central Time, we've had news dropping at 7:30 for our time. And another thing that's going to make this suck is the how big this 15-minute candle is, guys. Because, I mean, this is already, what, 50, 60? We're heading on a 70-point freaking 15-minute candle. So it's going to make it really hard to trade this 15 minutes this morning. So our one funded that we only need like $200 something for a payout, we're probably not going to trade it today. Tomorrow's iffy because it seems like the day of and the day after, whenever you have like a holiday and the bank holiday, the market can be kind of weary. All right, our 15 minutes is set, and it is a massive 15-minute candle, guys. Massive. So we'll definitely have to see what happens if we can get, I don't know if we get a retest of this line that we have marked out, because we could not come back to that line and it can just be selling off. The next target down would probably be 725, 730. If we're going to continue to run these legs. A lot of consolidation down here, though, so it may take a little bit to get through that. Anything will run down to 50 here, kind of take out, well, this already kind of taken out this swing. I do like that long. I just don't like it that we're kind of close to opening. Yeah, previous day close, man, all day. Not only being a 75-2 fish list, but the previous day close. Remember, the market closes at 12:45, 1 o'clock today. So most prop firms want you to have all of your stuff closed up. I don't understand. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see if that went through. Ooh. Downtown. Dude, come on. Why couldn't we get this at the opening? Why are we getting this now? This sucks. We already have like a 70 pipe point. There's nothing worse when we dump like 15 minutes before the market opens. Come on. What's up, Leo? Can you explain the boxes? Yes, sir. We can explain the boxes. So what these boxes are, they represent the higher time frames. So what it allows me to do is to see the higher time frames without switching my charts around. So this big giant box here is a 4-hour time frame, and these individually boxes are 1-hour time frames. And once this box is complete, you'll have an idea where your new 4-hour candle was printed. So right now, your 4-hour candle that you're currently in, this is the high up at 880 and the low is here. But you can also kind of see where your hourly candle is. So if you're pushing back into an hourly candle, you know we're going to run into resistance at the bottom of your 4-hour candles. So it just allows me to see the higher time frame without moving, like switching back and forth or looking at multiple charts. It just allows me to see it first thing in the morning. Because a lot of times in the morning when I'm playing that 15 minutes, I like to see us run like a 4-hour candle or hourly candle. So it keeps me out of, like, you know, if we're 20 points and running a 4-hour low, I won't take a short because I'm waiting to see what happens if we run that 4-hour candle. Because a lot of times you'll run that 4-hour candle and go straight back up to the high. So, and see, we take a lot of our trades based off on that first 15 minutes in the morning. But I like to know where the higher time frame's at so I don't get myself in, like, you know I don't want to be taking a short right at the high of an hourly candle or at the low of a candle. So kind of it allows us to be a little bit more patient and wait. So this gold line that we have marked out, that was that's where I was looking for a short to this morning. But I didn't expect us to sell off 90 points before the market opened. So now I don't really have a setup this morning. So now it's like crap. and my 15-minute candle is already 70 points. And usually a lot of times I won't take a entry off the 15 minutes if it's more than, say, 50 points. Because I try not to have no more than like a 25-point stop loss. 20 to 25 max. So this morning is just, but I understand it's news, so anything's possible. Then the rest of my levels are like, previous day close, previous day open, previous day high. We trade off levels mostly. And just breakouts, whole numbers, just mostly support and resistant levels. I like to try to have no more than like a 20 to 25 point stop loss for most parts because we're trading on small accounts. So most of our accounts are like, well, all of our accounts are 25Ks and 50Ks. Well, overall in trading, we're definitely in the negative if you count over the last 2 years. I want to say the most consistent I've been is probably in the last 3 months. So 3 to 4 months. Like, most people that trades it, to me, it usually, most people from their trading journey, it probably takes 2 years till you actually start getting comfortable. I'm hoping this year starts out pretty good. We're already pretty close to a $1,000 payout with Bulanox in the first month or so. We're about $200 away. Let's see. So the only count that I have anywhere close to payout is this one. And we're sitting at $53,354, and we got to get to $3,600 to request $1,000. But good thing after that, if you can control yourself and keep that account, your next payout, you only got to make $1,000 on that account. My closest with Apex is probably what? About 1,000 or 800-900. I think I have $500 to $600 in one of my Apex accounts. Maybe a little more on the other one. I don't have it pulled up because it's under my Ripnik account. Thanks, Leo. Like I said, I don't know what kind of entry we're gonna get this morning, guys. My setup's already gone. It sucks. Good morning, Outer. Yeah, it's a bank holiday today. Right now, we're kind of consolidating around the previous day close. I would think that we would at least get a pullback to here. So these little blue lines that you see in these boxes, this is the 50% of the hourly candle at the moment. Even though we got, 30 more minutes before this hourly candle prints. But for the 15 minutes, it's back up to about 820. So this is where we'll look for a pullback for a possible short this morning. But we're definitely not going to have that same entry this morning. And we would have to get below the previous day close. And then we could target the 40s or 50s, which is the low of these wicks here. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing funded trades today. I just wasn't sure. I kind of came in iffy because I wasn't sure. Usually those bank holidays, trading your fundeds, it can just be kind of messes up your day. Man, I wonder why that's not working today. Eh. Okay, here we go. I was like, man, why isn't that working? All right, let's see. Good morning. It says my phone was connected to my Alex, and I couldn't hear my alarm. Woke up at 11 a.m. I missed 2 opportunities, and where are you at? If you said woke up at 11, Leo, it's only what 8:30 here where I'm at. So are you like in Europe or something? Or the UK, England? Okay. I knew that was about the time there in the UK. It's about 5 hours ahead. Man, guys, we're just dumping. This is insane. This sucks that this is happening pre-market. I know. I wish I could find the motivation to stream a London session, because there's usually some nice moves in the overnight in London, but it's the fact of trying to get up. See, Mondays always is in turmoil. Up. I could see that outer, especially since we just already sold off 100 points in the last 30 minutes. What's going to suck is we're going to have all this sell off before the market opens. Then when the market opens, it's just going to be chopping sideways. Then we get crappy price action. I think I looked at it last night because I was curious what price action was, and I saw that we were just chopping pretty hard last night. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to be patient this morning and wait because my setups have already kind of happened. So a while ago when we were back up here, I thought we would chop in this area right here until the market opens. My first target was going to be 25.26 where I had my gold line put. Then next setup, if we got that, is once we sold below this gold line and pull back and you see this wick kind of found support, this could have been another short opportunity, but all that's already happened this morning. Then it's already ran our levels. So this would have been your first level, another level down to the downside, equal low sitting at 95. Then your next one down would have been 72.75. Then after that, you're looking at 740s or down to the previous day low. Well, previous day low is actually at 576. I mean, that's 200 points. So this would be Thursday's low here. We are trading the NQ or MNQ because we trade on micros, Leo. Because like I said, we trade fairly small accounts. So if you try to use minis, on those 50Ks or those 25Ks without a short stop loss, especially on the NQ, you can just get dumped on pretty fast. All right, guys, less than 1 minute to go before the market opens. So for a short here, we need to see a pullback up into the 800s, and maybe we find support here. Either 50% of this hourly candle or 50% of this 15-minute candle. Anything back above this 50%, we can start looking for longs back above 850. But being wishful, thinking that it's going to happen is one thing. All right. The first test there would be kind of like your 80 to 90 area, or like back up to the 9 EMA. If it starts dumping, there's just nothing I can really do about entering, because I'm not going to jump into a kind of a dump candle. It's just not really set up the way I like to enter, like early in the morning. So we got to get some kind of pullback before we can enter. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm in no really hurry to take trades. I think as right now, we may even just do evals this morning. We're about to pass another eval eventually anyway. Let's see where we're at on that eval. Oh, we're pretty close. Yeah, so we got 831 in our eval. So we still need another like $700. I'm going to try to be a little bit more patient, Matt. Just being a holiday, I'm in no big hurry to find an entry. That's what I was talking about. I said, man, watch us have this 100-point sell-off, and as soon as the market opens, we just start grinding. No, Mango, this is the MNQ or NQ. Sell at the 2900s. I do like selling off whole numbers, but that's a long ways back up. The previous day close is down at 576. You're looking at a 200-point sell-off for us to get back down to the previous day close. And previous day high is up there at 995, Matt. Right now, we're at the previous day close. Yes, we're at the previous day close. I'm sorry. Miss looked at that message. This line here, that was my either sell to take to that level. That is the midnight opening. If we can't get back above this previous day close, I guess downtown we come. We still have this low here that we can run here down at 730s, 740s. I mean, it looks like we're kind of building that little 3-candle trend line on the 5 minutes anyway. And if you can't get back above the 80s and 90s, it's probably going to be short all the way, because this is the close of your 15-minute candle here at 83. Doesn't look like we're going to get that third candle print. I mean, it's not clean anyway. You don't really want to enter off breakouts with these kind of nasty candles, especially when they're small bodies and big wicks. It seems like whenever I've done like that, it seems super risky. Oh, it is the 3 minutes. Holy crap. Hey, thanks for letting me know that. I didn't even realize that. You're totally right. That was the 3 minutes. Is there anybody in the entry besides Fish Lips? Fish Lips, did you get it out of that 75 bounce? I mean, I'm okay if I don't get an entry today because we only have about, what, an hour left to trade. We have to get off at 10:30 today. Pretty much my norm. Every 2 weeks, we have to take our pet to the vet. So hopefully this is well, actually in 2 more weeks, I think we have to go back to the vet because our other dog is supposed to get her teeth cleaned. So, but I don't know what time that one starts. So like I said, right here, we want to see either a push back up into the 15 minutes, either that or a push back up to the 9 EMA, or even up to the 25s. But being a bank holiday, I'm not even sure if we'll really get anything as far as funded trades to go. I think if you want to be safe, I'd stick strictly to an eval that you need to work on today. If I was in a short, I would look into us to running down from like Thursday previous lows. You can see all these wicks that we had from Thursday. From Friday. So this would have been your Thursday close. Your low from Friday is all the way down at 576. I don't know. What are you guys feeling about this 25 level here, man? 25 could be an insane bounce right here, Fish Lips. What do you think? I mean, I guess we can test the waters with 1 micro and see if we get the bounce. Man, that's looking pretty strong there for the 5 minutes, though. Oh, there was not. Let's see. Did we run that? Not quite. I may try to enter out the 25 here on my eval. Just 1 micro, though, just in case it goes against us, and then we can add at the 700. It didn't even run those lows. Oh, that was the, I didn't even pull fib on this leg to see what that was. So that was 60% of the fib. Man, I haven't even pulled fib today to see where we're at on Fibonacci. You didn't take your long off the 35 though, right? Because you don't usually do that, do you? Or do you put your orders on the fib on that setup there you're doing? Guys, we may do like, I mean, man, that's just, it's going all the way against the trend here by doing that. Ooh. I know there's not hardly any buy-in pressure. Maybe if we don't do the 25, we might be able to do it from the backside here. from the 25. Or did I already miss it? Did we already? Nope. Yeah, it could just be one of those nasty days where you just keep grinding lower and lower pretty much all day. $700 to 70%. Okay. I mean, almost every bump off those right before that swing is paying at least 10 points. I just don't know how much you would get off your runner. I'm going to wait and see if we sweep the 25s here, because that's a lot of resistance here at the 25s from that low here. What? 720s? I mean, dude, the amount of time that we came back and touched those levels were just insane. Sorry, I was trying to find a page real quick. 720 is the bottom of a order block from last Friday. And London lows from Friday is all the way down at 672. So uh-oh, let me see. What's up, man? Yes, this is a NQ. Whew. What's up, Charles? So we just ran that low, previous day low. So the next level will be 700 here. Good morning, Clarity. So that would have been your ad at 25 right fish lips. And you got another ad sitting at 700. If we do take this, it's just going to be three micros looking for 10 points in a runner. So we're just waiting to see if that 20 level, the 700 is going to hold. Because I don't feel like I don't like putting any orders in the direct path, because I'm not sure if that 20 level is going to hold that we were stuck at last Friday. We'll just drop it there just in case it continues. Then what we can do now, see if the 700s are going to hold, then drop it at 10. This way, the 700 is usually a nice bounce spot. We're just waiting to see if it's going to hold. A lot of times you'll hit the 700 and go back up to the 25. But this is not a normal day of trading. I understand that this is a bank holiday, so we're not getting normal price action. This way, if we totally lose the 700, we're not in the way of whatever happens with this sell-off. Fish Lips, are you on your third level? Are you still short from 75? Then you added at 50, then added at 25? So 10 points would be back up at 20. Then you'll have to see what kind of happens here. I feel like we could easily get a push back up to the 30s or 40s here. Really don't want to lose the 90s here. If we're going to get that pullback, we need the 90s to hold. Whew, long ways down. Oh my goodness. All right. Here's your 90 hold. Just hope it doesn't hit the wick me in. Just want to see a quick push up to the 20s here. And we probably won't risk no more than 10 points because this thing could just be waterfalling the rest of the day. So we'll do 15. All right, first target. It's still short bias unless we get through the 30s here, guys. Got to get through the 30s. Here, I was just anticipating a 25 retest. So here's our 25. If we can get above the 25s, we should get a little boner back up to the 50. And I may even take my final target here at the 50. But I know we got to get through 37s. We could reverse right here, guys. This is my 21 on my Rico candles at 31. So if we can't break 31, we're going back down. It's trying. Got to get through. No, this is a MNQ CSGO or NASDAQ. I'm going to try to get up there because it's struggling to get through those 21s, guys. Like I said, if it cannot get through 37, we're going back down. Or 31, I'm sorry, 31. It's trying. Oh, maybe this new 5-minute candle will get us there. My long was at 10. So it's still struggling to get through here, guys. So I'm not completely bought into the longs yet. This is just more or less a pullback trade. Whew. Yeah, we got long at 711, 710. Like I said, my charts still are short bias. Because on my Rico charts, we're still kind of at the 21 level, 21 EMA. So we could easily dump back down. So we would have to get back above the previous day close for me to feel long bias. Ooh, it's trying to wrap around. We're still, like I said, I'm still short bias right now. We got quite a ways to move up for me to kind of like dissipate that I'm going to be long bias. My goal was really 50. I may even shoot for 50 here and just get out of this, and that'd be 40 points. All right. Nice. That was 40 points there off the 10 level, so nice. We're only M and Q. I can put it in the chat for you, CS. Sorry if I saw your thing there. So thanks for Fish Lips talking about that being the 70% pullback at the 700. So that kind of irked the interest when he said 70% because that's in the golden pocket of your Fibonacci. And more likely, we probably left a lot on the table. So what could happen here is we're about to hit the 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart. So a lot of times we could pull back off of that. And a lot of times if we were playing these whole numbers, we could easily pull back to the 25. And so I didn't want to sit through the pullback. It might have pushed us over the 1,000 mark. Not quite. So we're at the 9 EMA on the 5 minutes. A lot of times this is a resistance. And a lot of times, guys, I do take entries off of Rico candles. I don't really share a lot of stuff from the Rico candles, but because I don't know how many people are interested in watching Rico candles. So let's see. Yeah, Clarity, I guess Methodical Man's sick today. That's why he's not streaming. So had a nice bounce on the old Ricos here. So the way I played Ricos is whenever we have pullbacks. So basically, we're already in this really deep trend. You look for some kind of support and resistance. You're waiting for this first candle to print, and the second candle is where I would have gotten long if I'd have took this on Ricos. But my other charts that I trade off Ricos, it like flashes probably 2.5 years ago CS. But for the first 6 months, I only traded like 1 day a week because I still was working at my like normal job. So now my days kind of split. I still work for a living. I still keep like a side job. So I usually stream in the morning, kind of work midday a little bit, then stream at night. It took me a little bit of planning to just get to this level where I could actually have more time to do this. Hopefully the more money I make off streaming and YouTube and affiliates, the less I would have to go to work. But until that day comes, this is just kind of what we're dealt with at the moment. All right, we got through the 60s. I wasn't sure. Like I said, if it gets to the 60s, we're going to leave a lot on the table here. No. Do we get the 15-minute pullback here? So this is a good, is this a good possible short? So this is at your 15-minute close of the 85. No, it's not my main job. I think that would be a lot of stress to have trading as your main job. So I make income. I make a little income off of YouTube or affiliates, not much, like usually less than like $300 to $500 a month. I don't make any money off YouTube because I'm not monetized. I make money off of rental property and my job. And plus, my wife has had a hair salon business for the last 20 years. So as far as family income comes, a lot of money comes from that too. So probably like 3 to 4 different places is where our income comes from. And it also helps that I don't have a mortgage I got to pay because our rental property pays for the mortgages. So it's like I get to live rent free / mortgage free. Because the time we bought that other house, my house was pretty much already pretty much paid off. So we were able to pay cash for a second house. So we're at that 15 minutes. Yeah, it's usually pretty tough to start doing this because, I mean, unless you're working a second job or a second shift job or a third shift job where you could stream during the daytime, like that's why a lot of people struggle to continue trading. So if they can't make money off the affiliates right away, most people quit. So you got to have some other way that you're making money. Depending on your bill situation. Like, I don't think I would have ever done this if my kids were young and, so, but, time I started doing this, the kids were grown. It's just me and my wife. Nothing, don't have to worry about nobody dependent on me besides the wife. Make sure the bills are paid. I don't know if I will ever let that be. I think I will always keep some kind of side job just in case, because sometimes you have rough months trading where nothing's working for you. Like I just feel like that puts a lot of stress on you if you're trying to have that as your main source of income. Unless you just have some kind of like, you know, 100 to a $500,000 saved up and just extra money. I could see maybe doing it. Then you just make enough to cover your bills. But I don't have that kind of backup fund. So most of the traders that you see online, most of those guys, if they're full-time trading, a lot of them are mainly living off their affiliate money. I'm not saying there's not some on there that's not living off trading, but a lot of your bigger streamers, they're making all their money from affiliates, CS. And, you know, being a methodical man, being my cousin, you know, he tells me a lot like what other people are making because he's in that loop. So he usually spreads the information. I don't usually say it, but, you know, if one of those guys want to say it, that's up to them. I don't try to repeat what other people are making. But they are making a lot of money. Like, you can almost expect some of the streamers with just like 10,000 subs probably making 15 to 25,000 a month. And you can imagine what probably some of those people, like those larger streamers, I mean, like what Patrick, he talks about it all the time. Heck, you know, that's why he usually tells people that, you know, I don't make nearly the money that my lifestyle shows what he makes off affiliates. Heck, he's probably making like 20 grand a day on some of those larger affiliates that are like, you know, 100,000 plus. So we did leave quite a bit on the table, guys. We left like 40 points on the table. And this could be a good, I'm curious if this is going to be a short opportunity here. Just have to wait and see, because, I mean, we already got like a nice little trend line build up here. And we're retesting that 15 minutes. I do some social medias, like I stream on TikTok also. The only places that I really stream mostly is YouTube and TikTok. I'm trying the X, but not really sure how well that's going to work. As right now, guys, we're going to look for a short if we can get another candle going in the right direction. And that's just based off this 15-minute candle here. We're just kind of waiting to see what happens. Yeah, I do Instagram, but I don't really post a lot over there. I haven't really been posting a lot of content lately because I've been just doing live streams so much. Because a lot of times we're live streaming about 6 hours a day most days. Except for this morning, because I can't, like I said, I got to take my pet to the vet. But we'll be back for the Tokyo session tonight at 8 o'clock. So a lot of times this would be an actual funded setup during the week. So there's your higher low. Here's your lower low. And you're looking for a pullback into this either at the bottom of the 15 minutes or 50% of the 15 minutes. And this is the 15 minute from 8 o'clock to 8:15. Or not 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm sorry. That's Central Time. I'm in Central Time. So if I say the time wrong, it's because I'm in Central Time. Nice recovery, Fish Lips. I know you had to sit through some. I was about to say you got out 100 points. I was like, man, I bet you got out a lot of that one, Fish Lips. Clarity's like, I'm done. I made my $50 holiday goal. Sweet. I wish I would have took a funded trade this morning, Clarity, but no funded trades for me today. It's just eval. I'm so close to payout that I don't want to mess that up on a holiday pay. I'm thinking about even waiting until Wednesday to start trading because it seems like the day after that holiday pay, the price action can suck. Whew, goodness. All right, here's the 800, the 21 EMA. Man, what a nice 100-point recovery. Surprisingly, we're getting nice movement today. I did not expect, 200 something points in movement since we pretty much opened. I did not expect that today. Yeah, just straight V shape. It's so hard to picture that on a holiday type trading. To me, I was over here playing it safe, fish lips. I'm over here like, all right, we're going to take it to the 9 EMA. I figured that was probably the safest target. I did not, usually we hit the 9 EMA, we get some kind of like pullback. I did not expect us to go basically straight through the 9, straight through the 20, then pretty much just straight retesting this 15 minutes here. Sorry if I'm zoomed in a little far here. I mean, it's really hard to even be short bias here too. Because we could be retesting the 25s here. Yeah, I'm surprised by the PA we're having today too, Clarity. I did not expect this type of price action. So I almost feel like the safer the move here would for us to look for that, say, 30% pullback, maybe a pullback to the 75s here or even the 60s to create that new leg. Then the next one would be your breakout. I feel like that would be the safer route to take here. I definitely do not long up into whole numbers. So anytime it's the first push up into the 90 to your whatever whole number you're approaching, we never take longs into those areas because there's always type of resistance or some type of like big pullbacks. And most of the time I'm playing on super stop close like stop losses. So you'll never see me take a trade above 80 on the first push. Hardly ever. The only way I'll take a trade above 80, it would have to hit the 90 to 800, pull back to 75. Then when it goes back above 80, you can look into the long. And it's the same way going into the whole number. The way I trade the whole number is I like us to go through the whole number, hit the 10, come back to the 90. Then that second push through the whole number, you can look for a long. And now it doesn't do that 100%, but for most part, that's usually how the market goes through the 90 to 810. That's why I always call it the hardest levels to trade. Those between that 20 points, between 810 and 90, or just 10 and 90 is the hardest levels to trade. At least from my experience, it seems like, every now and then you'll get that where it just dumps through the whole numbers, but very rare. You'll get like those 1 or 2 days a month where it's just going through all the levels. So, full up here. It says, are those lines the VWAP? No VWAP here. The U2 Clarity. Yeah, I only have about 20 more minutes myself. No fast. Those are just your basic EMA lines. Like 9, 21, and 50. I mean, we don't usually use them too much as far as taking trades off. They're just more or less there for like reference. So if I'm like in a long or a short, like if I know that sometimes we get resistance at the 9 or 21, I'll just try to play it safe and try to take my profit before we get to those levels. So this could be, if this holds, so if you pull fib on this and you're 40, say 40 to 50% holds, you could probably draw you a trend line here and look for long. But you got to have the, kind of want to see this area hold up here, maybe in the 50s at the most on the pullback. And how much time we got left on this candle? Let's see. The 38% would be your best. That means that we're still super bullish. So anytime that you can get your leg to pull back just to that, between that 23 and 38%, it's almost like guaranteed you're going back up. 50% to 60% can be kind of iffy, but man, that 38% is definitely the really nice sweet spot. Even on 5-minute candles, if you like to pull fib on 5-minute candles, and that's what a lot of times what I'll do on these big 5-minute candles. And this way you can almost tell that we're going to continue higher by doing that. Oh, I was trying to see how much, we still got 3 minutes left. So if this candle can print, the next one will be, you want to see a green candle and you want to see it break the top of this candle here. Then we can look for a push up to the 25. We're just trading evals today, Kane. We've actually got some really nice movements today. We've already, sold off over 100 points, and we've already pushed back up 100 points. So we got some nice price action going in today. A lot better than what I thought we were going to get. Usually we don't get this type of movement, but today we've got a lot of, yeah, today's definitely a half a day. Unfortunately, I only got about 15 more minutes left outer. I got to, like I said, gotta take the dog to the vet today. It seems like that's a every other Monday thing for right now. All right, we're about to have a new 5-minute candle. Oh, nice. Nice on passing it in the London session, too. All right, about to have a new 5-minute candle. Right now, we're sitting at about 38% of the pullback of this previous leg here. I want to say the 40 level is your 50% pullback here. Remember, you really can't go long unless it gets back above here. And I'm not even sure if we go back up here. Like I said, this is also off the 15-minute candle here at the, 87? So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. 50% is also down at 750. I'll put a line there. That way I don't have to keep up with it. Patience, patience. Excuse me. Is there anybody in a long or short right now? I didn't know if someone's looking for something different. You know, everybody sees different things. How much time we got left? We still got about 2 to 3 minutes left for a new 5-minute candle. That would even be nicer to have a 3 candles here. Paper long trade at 747. I like that long too. That's like that 50% pullback. So I like the longs off the 50s here if you get that pullback there outer. Because that's at your 50% pullback. That's off this swing, off this swing right here. We've already taken one trade already. We took a 40-point trade. We were long from the 50s, 710s, and we took it up to the 50s. So we've already had one 40-point trade this morning, so I'm not in a big hurry to look for another one. If I'm able to get another entry before the next 10 minutes, we will take it. If we get it depends on this leg here. So I'm waiting to see what happens with this leg here. So what, we got another minute or so, minute and a half. So this would be a nice little 3-leg, 3-candle pullback on the 5 minutes if you can get this next candle to kind of break back up to the upside here. I'm hoping you get that one outer. But I know this is a bank holiday type trading, so this price action has been kind of weird to me. Like it's not holding up as the way you expect it to be. Like it seems like this holiday trading is always kind of weird. That's why we're not even doing funded trades today, guys. We're strictly doing evals only. I let you guys know that because I don't want you to follow my trades on an eval trade. And you got to think most of my trades are just a few micros. This way I try not to over leverage if I can't help it. All right. This is where we don't need to break this leg here outer. If any, kind of need to start seeing us push back up of the 9 EMA here for your long. I'm trying to wait and see if we break back above the close of this candle, or will this candle open. I need to see us break back above the opening. It says if 2471 breaks, you can add one more. I'm not in an entry. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and see if we can break this previous 5-minute candle. Want to see us break above the close here. Whew. Maybe this wick right here, you would think that you want to see the 30s hold up here. Holy goodness, man. What's up, Solo? You're break even. Where did you enter at, Solo? Posted the trade in the Discord. I wasn't even looking in the Discord, Solo. Oh yeah, that 15-minute retest. Is that what that was? That 15-minute retest? 700-800. Oh. If I wasn't already like in a nice short from earlier, because we already got 40 points, I would have loved that one, that sell off of that 15 minutes. I thought we were going to be moving higher, honestly. So I was waiting for us to have like a nice little 5-minute trend line to look for long, but it doesn't look like we're getting that. It's like we're just straight selling back down. And I think that's because I already took one trade. So like I said, we took the trade back to the top side. So once this 700 holds, this is where we took our long at 710 here. And we took it up to 50. So it was about a 40-point trade altogether. Surprisingly, we're getting really nice price action today. It's not overly fast. It's not like jacking you up. So you can manage your stop loss. Those are the 9 o'clock to 9:15, Scott. So most of the time, I usually take this during the daytime, but I wasn't sure what we're going to get today just because it's a holiday. So, and I had already just got out of a long, so we didn't bother with it. But a lot of times, this is this trade that we look for during the normal trading day on the New York session. So basically what we're doing is either we're looking for a breakdown, we're looking for a low and either a lower low or a higher low or whatever, a higher low up here, then draw fib, and you're looking for a pullback into this zone right here. So, and your entry would have been at 785, 784 area, right where this 21 pullback is. Most of the time we get a 50% pullback, which is around the 17. Well, right now this level is 17, but most of the time you get a pullback back right to that area. But if you actually look and see where we pull back to, we actually pull back 60% of the 1 hour candle. So this is a 1 hour candle, this box here. So there's your 50%. You can see that. I don't know how well you can see that little blue line, but basically you got the pullback into your golden pocket, which is the 60% where it sold off. So this is kind of how we use the fib whenever we're trading. So you could get two confirmations here when looking for this short. If you're trading, this is how I use it during the day. So we will pull fib, and we're looking for about a 50% pullback, 50 to 60% pullback in this fib. But it was a little slower today because the market's a lot slower. Get some of this stuff off. Dude, this thing V-shade up 100 points and V-shade right back down. Do not get this a lot. What I was really annoyed this morning is I had my setup where I wanted to target this morning. So I did not expect us to sell down 70, 80 points at 8 o'clock this morning or 9 o'clock this morning. So it would have been a little tougher to trade this 15 minutes because of how massive it was. So this is why I kind of just stayed away from it because how big it is. You want to have it where it's like no more than like a 20-point stop loss. But when the market is moving slower and you hindsight look at it, it looks pretty. Where is your if 71 breaks 692 was your stop loss? Okay. I'd be okay not taking another trade. Like I said, we probably only got about 5 or 10 more minutes here, guys. So if I didn't have to take the dog to the vet, I'd probably stay on till most of the morning until it was time for the market to close. Hopefully you guys were able to at least find one trade today. I think that's probably a good like balance. You can just find that one good trade on a holiday and be done. Not just keep trading. Because sometimes the price action doesn't like hold up as normal, like New York session. Whenever you have these holidays, like it doesn't support those like normal like support and resistant levels that you're hoping that it's going to do. All right, so this is what I mean by sometimes I pull fib on almost all these 5-minute candles that I plan on taking entries. So, and usually if they can hold the 50%, you're going to continue down. So this one pulled back right at 50%. I don't like ones with the big wicks on it though. Those are kind of ugly. This one pulled back even stronger because it only pulled back 38%. And sometimes you don't get enough time to do this, but you can kind of do this if you want to consider entering the trade. You're like, do I want to enter here? And a lot of times this is what I'll look at to see if this still going to stay bullish. But sometimes I'm iffy about it whenever this wick is pulled back into the 20 to 30%. I like baby wicks where see how they had that little baby wick? Those are my favorite type of 5-minute candles to enter on to pull fib. Or even this candle over here where which we already decided to take our entry up around that 50 anyway. So I never did pull fib on this one. This one was a nice one too. I wish I'd have did it because this one didn't even pull back 23% of this previous 5-minute boner candle. and it just kept skyrocketing here. The same with this next one. I can't tell where that wick's at. I mean, barely even 10% of the candle. So this is usually a good indicator if you can pull this fast enough to look at it to see where, if you still think price action is going to continue higher. This is how I use fib a lot, is on these individual 5-minute candles because they're so big. And a lot of times if it starts losing that 50%, I'm like, okay, we're not holding this candle. So that would have, let's see. That one pulled back to the 60%. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll wait for the pullback. And most of the time, if we got a level that now I wouldn't do it into the whole number here, but a lot of times I'll have my order sitting at where the candle open or closed. Man, Solo, how heavy did you go in on your entry? Let's take a look at her here. Nice on the 700 hit, Solo. Oh, wow. They hit right on top of that 5-minute gap that you had marked out. Nice. Solo's like, do a little dance. Nice. All right. We need the reversal for outer here. Come on. Reverse. Reverse. See if we can break back above the 25s here. But I don't know. We already hit the 700 once. So this would be our second 100 hit or 700 hit. So. Woo. Outer, when you meant paper trade, do you mean that was a eval trade or was that just a sim account trade? If it was the first hit on the 700, I'd say probably, but we're on the second. I don't like the longs unless we can almost break back above this candle here. Only on 5 minutes, UFC. I was explaining how I use them. It's only for what's going on now. It's not like a total move. So a lot of times I'll use fib on these big 5-minute candles because most of the time you're going to continue lower if the 50% of your 5-minute candle holds. So it's not necessarily the overall picture. It's just all about what's going on at this moment. So it's kind of like a candle to candle basis. That's what we were just talking about, how we were using it. So if you go pull fib on every single one of these 5 minutes candles down, they barely touched a 50% of the candle. They all range between 50 and 20% of your candle. Now, I'm not a fan of the ones that are big wicks like this. But you got to think, man, some of these, not so much today, but man, sometimes these 5-minute candles are like freaking 30, 40, 50 points long. So these can be some pretty long 5-minute candles. Like I would never do this like on the 1-minute chart, or, 5 minutes is usually kind of my line in the sand when using fib on the individual candles. Usually if I'm using fib, it's on the whole leg. Is your stop loss down here at this? Oh, never mind. You probably already hit that stop loss because you said. Yeah, I know you said usually don't ever trade Mondays. Probably more on my evals flick. A lot of times with my evals, we look for like 10-point trades and runners. So a lot of times how I'll enter on my evals, if I think that we have a bigger target to the downside, and how I can enter those is a lot of times I'll use the close of the 5-minute candle and look for 10 minutes after the pullback. So what I would do is we wait for a pullback on these 5-minute candles, and we're looking for 10 points. So 10 points in runners. If we can get the bigger runners, we'll take it. So basically what I'll do is I'll have my entry sitting at the close of the candle, but I have to see it pull back and see the 50% holds, and my entry would be sitting right here. I mean, I wouldn't do it down here, just the fact that we just reran this possible low. So it would be like, shortly after we just started selling off. I would never do it this far away from our, 9 and 50 EMA after we done sold off 100 points. I like to do it just, like I said, fairly early in the swing. In this way, you can already have your target. Like, are we going to rerun this previously hourly candle? And it looks like we did. So we're back at the previous hourly low, or even the 4-hour low. So this could be a nice spot for a reversal here. So we just ran this 4-hour candle. This is the low of your 4-hour candle, and your high is up here. So we just kind of wait and see what happens with this 4-hour low. Ooh, it opened right at the 4-hour low also. That candle. So the opening of that candle was right there at the 4-hour low. Of the current candle. I mean, if you pull fib on this whole leg, you would think that we're due for a pullback. I mean, that could easily be a 9 EMA pullback here, back up into the 25. I would probably shoot for the 25 pullback if I was gonna look for long. Oh, there's a big wick sitting at the 650s on the 4-hour. It should be marked out down here. Nope, I can't. Time is it, man? I got to head out here in a minute, guys. Dude, did we get another V-shaped recovery back to the top side again? That would. Oh, they disconnected my live for some reason. With I hate that TikTok does that. So right now what we're doing is we're waiting on the next 5-minute candle. So you still got about 3 minutes left. I want to see it create like a little bear flag here. So I want to see another 5-minute print. Either it needs to print 2 to 3 candles, and then you're just kind of waiting for a break below this candle here at the 700. How can I identify the daily bias on a direction? I'm just trading from level to level. We're just looking for levels. I don't really have a bias. We're just trading off higher time frames, or like kind of where the higher time frames at. So I know that this is the low of the current 4-hour candle, and we're pulling fib on this leg here. So at the most, you want to see no more than like 40 to 50% of the pullback here if you're still looking for shorts. Oh, how can I identify? A lot of days, man, I don't even really go in with like a bias, because I've found that in the past, whenever I go in with a bias, I find myself only looking for those trades. So I've had bad day tradings where I'm like long bias and I constantly look for longs. I'm not gonna lie, like it's. No, don't sell off now. Oh, I forgot. Damn it. One candle, pull back on that one. Son of a bee. Man, we're about to have a new 5-minute candle. I was hoping that candle would stay green here. Hopefully we don't get trapped in this before we have to leave. Oh, that's not pretty. All right, so what we could do is add and DCA back into it if it gets too out of hand. since we're on eval. I can't see my, I have to do this to see my stuff because my camera's in the way. So my ad will come in at 725 if it pushes up that high. Yeah, but I don't recommend doing this on eval only hymns. I don't want nobody to be messing up their funded accounts on my eval trades. My eval trades are a little bit more on the riskier side. And you got to think, dude, I'm trading like a 80 or 90% off eval. That I'm up already like $1,000 in this account. So this is why I usually tell everybody I'm in evals, because I don't want nobody to mess up their funded accounts. Now, when I'm saying I'm trading fundeds, I mean, that's all good, because mostly whenever I'm trading fundeds, it's okay, this is my best possible entry that I'm going to find. But when it comes to evals, no. So a lot of times what I'll do, man, I only got I got 10 minutes left. Don't want to see us really break this range here. The only thing that gets me nervous about this is that we're at that 5-minute low. I mean, 4-hour low of this previous candle. Yep, that's not good. We just broke that. 15 will be our next line in the sand. Then after that, it would be 36. Let's see here. What is that? 20, 40. Brought the average up. How much time we got left? 2 minutes. This is where I need 15 to kind of hold up here and need to see some kind of pullback off that 15 level. Nope, 15's not holding. We're going to add again at either 75 or 50 here. I mean, 25 or 50 here. I'm hoping I'm able to get out of this trade before I have to leave, because like I said, I got to leave here in the next 10 minutes. I should have been off here at 10:30 because like I said, my vet appointment's at 12 o'clock today. We're on MNQ. I can't believe I let myself get caught in this damn trade. Nothing worse than getting caught in the wrong direction, guys. I thought we were going to get those 50s there with you so low. All right, next level up for ads is going to be right there at the 35s. Right now, overall, we're down 140. I just don't want to get wicked out here. All right, there's 25. Make sure I'm on one. I don't know if I should hold off to the... don't know if I need to hold off till the 50 level. That way I get a better entry, and it'll bring my average way up. So right now we're trying to DCA back into this on this eval. I don't know if we come back down. I feel like the only way I get out of this is by averaging back in. Ooh, we're starting close, guys, for me to have to leave. I still don't think we get back down to the 75s here. I almost should have added at the 25. Because if it goes back down here, it holds at the 700. It just means that we're probably going back up to the side. Because a lot of times what it is, we're just trading in between whole numbers. So you push up to the 25, you push back down to the 700. So kind of wait to see what happens with the 700 level. Right now we're down 96 or 100. And that's minusing our profits from our last trade. See, this here could only be a pullback, so I don't think we run the lows here, because that's the 50% pullback there. So back above 25, it's, like I said, going much higher. How deep am I? 5? Ooh, we're right there at the 60%. Where my entry's at. I can, man, it's almost like I get out of this right now for break-even trade. We just hit that. Let's do 5 right there. Scary level. Right. Brought my average back up to 712 from DCAing back in there. Now we'll just wait and see if the runner gets hit here. We will look for 75. All right, guys, like I said, this has got to be my last trade. I traded 30 minutes more than I wanted to. So this is the positive about not over leveraging. Sometimes if you get yourself caught in a bad trade, you can usually have a couple little DCA moves to kind of get yourself back into a better average. Trust me, I used to do over leveraging a lot, and it just seems like one mistake would just ruin your day. We got 1 minute left for a new 5-minute candle. Let's pull fib. This is a fairly big candle. The only thing that sucks about this 5-minute candle, it has no wick on the top of it. So it could come back and clean up that wick. So if it pretty much breaks back above the 700s here, it's probably going to go up there and clean up that wicks. If it can stay under this 30 to 20%, we should continue down. I'm just going to put it right there above the 60% of this 5-minute candle, because a lot of times if you pull back that deep into a 5-minute candle, it's probably going back up to the top here. Come on, nasty girl. Run the wicks. Man, we're right there back at that 4-hour low again. The previous candle low, guys. Previous candle low. We're targeting 75 here. There's also a previous, that previous swing sitting at 77. So why don't you do the OCO brackets if you have to leave? I don't want to leave my stuff on. I mean, I have my stop loss and take profits set in place. Now, I wasn't going to leave the last one where we were, trying to, the last one we were DCAing into it. So we ain't going to do that one. But now that our average is back up at 712, so we should be good. Thank you guys for watching today. We're trying to hold off and see if we hit our final target here. The first trade was a good one. We didn't have to sit through a lot of drawdown, but we did have to sit through drawdown with this one. So, and I hate sitting through drawdown when that happens. But no trade is perfect. So most of us do sit through drawdown, especially if you're trading the NQ, man. The NQ can just whip so fast that it don't even give you time to think about it. Remember, there is no wick on the top of this 5-minute candle. And we just have our take profit sitting at the 50%. All right. 50%. If you lose the 60%, you're probably going back up here to take out the top of this candle. All right. Thank you guys for watching today. So we ended up at basically 136, 140 here. And that was just trading eval today. The first trade was this one over here. We got long at what? 710 earlier. After we kind of ran this swing here, we pushed down, and as we were coming back above 700, we had a resting order sitting. We had a resting order sitting at 710, and we took like 40 points out of it. And then this trade here. So basically we just took 2 trades today. All right. Thank you guys, and everyone have a wonderful evening. And we'll be back tonight for Tokyo session.